Hello, my biddies. How are you today? What is that going on back there? Shoes. Where are my shoes showing? Did you miss me yesterday? I got my teeth cleaned. Um, this is the last time we'll see our dentist ever. He's retiring after 43 years. We've been going there for 36 years. We have a long and well established relationship with our dentist. I love it. Um, what else we got going on? Say hi in the chat. Um, yeah. So they were talking like we were gonna stop going there. We're not for now. Um, we do take the opportunity to go see my sister-in-law when we're there because she just moved back there after living in a different city for a really, really, really long time. My screen has gunk on it. I don't know why. Um, so yeah, my husband actually got out before me for once. Um, he has terrible like problems with his teeth. Like his teeth are healthy, but it takes forever for them to clean them most of the time. But the dentist told him last time we were there to get a water pick. He's been telling him this for probably years. So he finally got a water pick. Apparently it's working because did get called back before me. A little bit. But it's the first time he's ever had to wait for me. What do I have on my face? I think that's my lunch. If you have not had the cherry Tom's cherry spread from Costco. It's a Michigan cherry product, but it's made in Canada, I think. It's called Michigan cherry spread. It's really good. I had a peanut butter and cherry spread sandwich for lunch. It's all I've had today, so I'm probably gonna get hungry before we're done. Anyway, back to the dentist. I told you last time about how they're vampires. I should have made a joke about that when he said his body was telling him he needed to quit. I missed an opportunity for a good vampire joke there, but I got my joke in earlier. You know how in small towns they tend to the houses on Main Street, especially downtown, tend to become businesses nowadays. So my husband noticed there were two financial uh, advisor companies across the street from each other, and then our lawyer was right next door to one of them. And he looks over at one of the financial uh, advisor companies and says, "Oh, I went to high school with that guy." Um, so it's like he's like, "Well, that's a pretty nice setup. He can, have his office and live there too." I said, "I doubt that he's living there." I said, and I pointed to our lawyer's office, which is also in a house. I said, "He's definitely not living there, right?" And then I said, and I doubt that Edward Jones is living in that house." He actually appreciated that. He goes, "Are you tired?" Because that was really good. It was really funny. So yeah, I had my little joke then, I guess. I did miss the opportunity for a vampire joke. I should have said it. Well, not getting out enough blood from the dead people outside your back door. I saw my sister-in-law. We did a couple things over there. Kept asking her what's your login. We had to set up a TV for her, so I kept asking her what's your login for your Wi-Fi. I don't know. What'd you call it? I don't know. I don't think I called it anything. So it's this Xfinity one, right? Is it Joanne's? Because I don't think it's Joanne's. Is it 2 kitties? 3 kitties. No, it's 3 kitties. Is it 3 kitties? Is it Xfinity? It turned out it was the kitties. I don't know why. Jill has one cat. She's silly. She never knows her passwords or anything for anything. Like, I can tell you my password for my Wi-Fi off the top of my head, but she doesn't know. And we've had this problem with her consistently for 30 years. Not even joking. For her woman her age, she's very tech savvy, but and then at the same time, I love her. Um, so we went out to eat at a little diner. I did not get enough food. So there's a ice cream place on the way to the highway from her house. And he says, my husband points out, and I just say, because I was still hungry. All I had was a sandwich and a small cup of soup and a sandwich. And I hadn't had much earlier than that. So we stopped and got ice cream, which we hardly ever do. So it was nice. Okay. I guess we'll go on to reality roundup since I have nothing else to report about my boring life. So I have a new show for you. It is called Jay and Pamela. This is season 2, episode 1. Can you work it? Can you twerk it? I don't know why it says take it because I'm pretty sure it said twerk. So a little background on Jay and Pamela, since you may be unfamiliar with them as they are not, a mainstream TLC program. They are a disabled couple. Recently, last season, they got married and they are trying to live an independent life. They've moved out of his parents' basement and gotten their own apartment for the first time. They both have osteogenesis imperfecta type 3. This is also known as a brittle bone disease. There's a particular one, they don't have collagen in their bones. So their bones do not grow correctly, and they're very prone, as in all brittle bone diseases, to fractures. As a result of this, they are both confined to wheelchairs. They have motorized wheelchairs, big 400-pounders. Her parents have rejected their relationship due to him being a transgender man. She still has a relationship with at least one sibling. His parents are wonderful people that seem like they would do anything for this couple. This show is most definitely more uplifting than some of the others we covered. There's a lot less conflict in this show, and it's just showing their life and what they're doing. So they're based out of Atlanta, Georgia, where the show, Pamela says a lot has happened since last year. She chopped off her hair. It looks very cute. It's bouncy and looks super cute on her. So we're in their apartment, and his parents are coming over to go bed shopping because they need a new bed, apparently. It looks like they've been busy with their new 3-bedroom, 2-bath apartment that they scored at the last event, end of last season. Also, it's also very wheelchair friendly. It has to be the doorways have to be big enough to accommodate their wheelchairs, which are quite large, considering they're tiny, teeny tiny little guys. She said she wants it decorated but not clustery. And it's funny because I heard this clustery word in another show later. He corrects her with cluttered and she repeats clustery. And he says, Web Dictionary, please add the word that my wife made up right now, clustery. She's fighting back to him a little bit, but it was cute. It was a cute exchange. They disagree with each other sometimes. They don't like get in drag out fights with each other, which is nice. So his parents arrived. His dad, Raphael, says that they've expected them to call on him as frequently as before, and is happily surprised that that's not been the case. Pamela says that they do as much of their own housework as they can, and she says it can take her an hour to sweep the floors in their apartment. They do have friends to help out. The groundskeeper takes their trash out, and this is what good people do to help people that are less fortunate than themselves. So, actually, in this part, they explain their disease, condition, birth defect, whatever you want to call it, is regarding the collagen inside the bone. Together, they've had over 400 bone fractures. Just a warning, they're not the most mature people, and conversations between them also often become inappropriate. They are all about the loving part of their relationship, shall we say. They mentioned that Jay's 30th birthday is coming up, and Jay's mom, Renee, says that they were told that he would not make it past 3, and now he's going to be 30, which is awesome. So it turns out they've been traveling a lot, and they've been to California, and now they're going to go to New York to be in a fashion show during Fashion Week. Jay is an experienced model, apparently. Pamela is excited because it's her first time. First time to New York and first time in fashion show. Now we're going to go mattress shopping. The first one is Too Hard, which, I mean, they said they wanted it soft, but not too soft, not quicksand, because they have to be able to sleep with their little hurdy bones, and they also have to be able to get back out of bed easily. They like to be independent, which I appreciate. They like to be able to get in and out of their wheelchairs by themselves. Pamela more so than Jay. After a few mattresses and a lot of bouncing, they find one that they really like, and it will be delivered and set up while they're in New York. Cheddar the dog is going to go with the grandparents while they go on their trip. Pamela hates being picked up, so she uses an aisle chair, which is a wheelchair that can go down the plain aisle, and then they just carry Jay on. He only weighs 40 pounds, so this is not, a hardship at all. They get a lot of help from airport staff, as they should. Once in New York, they have to travel separately because of their wheelchairs. They got minivans instead of a big van, and so they're each in one minivan, which that's got to be expensive. That's like double price everywhere you want to go, which kind of sucks. Apparently, they still haven't gone on a honeymoon, and Pamela says this is not a honeymoon. This is just a preview. Pamela loves Times Square. She was excited, and I was too when I went, so I get that. Go, Pamela. They find a weed store, and they decide to go in since it's not legal in Georgia. So this is a real treat for them. They get some gummies and plan to put them to good use later, but Jay falls asleep instead. And Pamela's like, I guess we're not doing that. Good night. The next day is the fashion show fitting, and they get excited about seeing other people in wheelchairs, which is like, it's funny how excited they get to see other people, other people in wheelchairs rolling around New York. I guess in Atlanta there aren't that many people out and about in wheelchairs. Atlanta needs to fix that. Obviously, it's not wheelchair friendly there, so they need to fix that. They'll be walking for Cult of Individuality, is what the fashion business is called. Pamela booked them a Circle Line tour. If you're not familiar, Circle Line is the water tour to take in New York City. I went on it when I was there last year. They do a tour of Hudson Bay, and you get to see all the sights from the bay. It's nice. The ramp was not cooperating with the chairs. They are like, well, we can pick it up. She's like, it's 400 pounds. They're like, okay, we're not going to pick it up. That was not said, but that was what happened. They bring another ramp out, and Pamela crosses fine, but they have to take the ramp. They have to pick the ramp while they're on the ramp. They have to pick up the metal ramp while they're on the gangway, I should say. While they're on the gangway, they have to pick up the ramp and move it and put it in the other side so they can get off of the gangway. Pamela crosses just fine, but they had to stop in the middle, of course. Jay is much more cautious because he has a deathly fear of water, having almost drowned twice. He fell twice off the same floaty. Maybe this was the floaty problem, Jay. Not a problem with you, but a problem with that particular floaty. And I can understand why he would have a horrible fear of water after that. They have a lovely boat tour of the Hudson Bay. I hope they took the long one because there's a long one and a short one. The long one goes all the way around uh, the island, and they look super cute in their little captain hats. Uh, then they run late for the fashion show. Pamela is really excited. They get to the entrance, and the door person is skeptical that they're models. Maybe she double checks everybody. I don't know, but she does go to double check. Uh, if she does not check everybody, then she's wrong to check them when they say that they're there to be in the show. They finally do get approved and get their hair and makeup done. Jay's shirt is so small that he's going to pop a button on that. But Pamela seems to love her getup. I will show you what Pamela looked like. This is what Pamela looked like. This is her outfit for the show. Oh, and you can see Jay in the background with his weirdo outfit. There was not a good picture of Jay by himself, or mostly by himself. Um, Jay does look like a pimp in this puffy blue jacket, and his glasses are fluffy. Um, you could see Jay in the background of the other picture, but this is without the fluffy eyeglasses on. But I mean, I'm sorry, that's a pimp outfit all day long. I am not redoing all of that. I will cut it out. I don't care. We'll go on to the next one. And then we'll go back and cut out all of that that didn't have sound. Next, we have interesting as way. How fentanyl and xylazine are turning Philadelphia's opioid crisis into a public health nightmare. This is not good. Just be warned. This does not look good at all. It's almost staged, honestly. Wow. Don't do drugs, kids, at all, ever. So bad. I don't understand it. That's wild. First person asked why they fold like that. Isn't it more comfortable to just pass out on the floor? Uh, Initial row says ex-heroin addict here, never experienced fent, only heroin. But the nod is an odd feeling. It's literally the best thing you can feel, but it sure as crap doesn't look like it. And the original questioner says, "Can you explain the nod feeling? The only thing I've ever tried was weed. I have a greened out couple of times, but it can give me a better grasp of what it's feeling is like." And she also thanks him for the reply. Daryl Dunhill answers, "It's the most good and safe you could possibly feel. You just roll with it. You don't want to sleep because if you sleep, you'll miss the high. So you just kind of bliss out into a state where everything is great. You aren't really asleep most times, just barely lucid." Sharticus says, and that's what folks don't understand about drug use. It really isn't even an opioid epidemic. It's a homelessness and poverty epidemic. These drugs are the only time these folks can get a moment of peace from the horror that's their lives. Yeah, that's really the thing. It's that drug drug epidemics are a product of other problems, other societal problems. Street Paper says I was a poly drug addict, cocaine and heroin, that definitely had fentanyl and xylazine in some of my drugs during my 16 years of active use. I've been clean off those drugs for 9 years this November. They brought a sense of peace and a warm blanket hug like feeling to me when I used. The peace was short lived since I was on and off the streets. I would end up at my mother's house in between the streets. I'm very upset. I wasted so much of my life on drugs. I'm in my mid 40s now and would likely be working until I physically can't anymore, since I missed so much time away from employment. I now have a great job doing adult protective services work. I've even helped out a few addicts in my job, and I'm glad I have experience with drugs, so I was able to understand where they were coming from. Yeah, it's good for ex addicts, but also dangerous sometimes for them to um, be dealing with current addicts. I never want to go back to that period in my life. I had a good upbringing and a good family, and so I don't have much of a reason for my addiction other than that my father was an alcoholic. So the addiction gene is in me too. It's awful sad that people are going through it. It's so hard to think there's a better way of life when you're in this deep. It took me going on probation for some legal trouble to get me away from drugs with the constant drug tests I had to take, but it really worked and I'm never going back. And he thanks everyone for all the supportive comments. And he's got it in caps, four exclamation points, which I love. Creepy Consequence says, legit one of the saddest things I've ever seen in my life. I agree. It's horrible. Next is Am I the A-hole? AITA for standing on business and ruining everyone's day. So here's what happened. Me and my 3 friends were supposed to go to an event today. The event is about a 2-hour drive from where I live. So one of my friends was going to drive, and we were all going to ride together. Where I live, the temperature is already well into the mid-90s. So I was already on the fence about going to the event because it was going to be semi-outdoors. Yeah, that sounds miserable. So my friend swings by to pick me up, and he has all the windows rolled down on his truck. He only lives a couple of minutes down the road from me. So I figured he was just letting the excess heat out of the truck before turning on the AC. I could not get my AC to turn on Wednesday afternoon. It was hot as heck, super muggy. Like that night, I couldn't even get to sleep. The night before, Tuesday night, I couldn't even get to sleep because it was so sticky. I felt sticky and nasty and gross. Um, so yeah, AC in the truck is a nice thing. We drive about 10 minutes to pick up our other 2 friends, and he still hasn't turned the AC on. Okay, kind of weird. We get 15 minutes into the drive, and I finally turn to him and ask if he's going to roll up the windows and crank the AC. This MFer says, we're going to be out in it all day, so we might as well get used to it. No, you cool down before you get there so that your body has some coolness to it to keep you cool, at least for a while. And you're not out in it as much. I tell him I'm not sitting in an unconditioned vehicle and stop and start traffic for 2 hours, that he needs to turn on the AC. The other 2 people in the vehicle obviously agree with me as we're all sweating through our clothes already. He says something to the effect of my truck, my rules, which I tell him either turn on the AC or pull over and let me out. He tells me he's not going to pull over and that we can just suck it up and deal with it. First stop sign, I'm out of the truck. I tell him that he can either pull over the truck or I'm going to jump out and find another way home at my first opportunity. He won't pull over, but about 5 minutes later, we are at a dead stop at a traffic light and right next to the edge of the road. I toss my seatbelt off and jump out of the truck and start heading back toward the last gas station we passed. About 10 seconds later, I hear my 2 friends in the back seat jump out and start catching up with me. Apparently, they were already on the fence about the event for the same reason I was, and the last straw was for both of them as well. Good for you guys. Good for, like, setting some boundaries and following through with them. It's awesome. We get back to the gas station we just passed and call the Lyft to come get us and take us home. He manages to make a U-turn and get to the gas station before the Lyft can pick us up. Of course he did. As trying to get us back into the truck, saying he'll run the AC and that we can still go at this point, but we're all pissed off, hot, and feel nasty. So we just end up getting in the Lyft and leaving. We essentially end up telling him that if he wanted to go, that he was going by himself, which he did not end up doing. Now he's blowing up our phones in the group chat saying how we ruined the day. All you had to do was turn on the AC, dude. Seriously. He insists that what we did was overly dramatic, but I feel like we just stood on business. Am I or are we the a-holes? No, not at all. Not at all. I did get my air going yesterday. I don't know what is my car is my car is 12 years old, 14 years old. 14 years old. My car is 14 years old and the air conditioning has been messed up for at least 5 years. It has been fixed numerous times. It will not work. It's been fixed by my son. It's been fixed by the dealer. It will not work. You have to, if I fill with it enough and fill with it correctly, I can get it to work most of the time, but not all of the time. Wednesday, the air would not come on at all. Yesterday, so when we go to the dentist, I meet my husband somewhere to park my car and go in his because he has a fancy car. So I went and met him, and on the way there, I could not get it to work at all. Matter of fact, I had to keep it off because it also likes to blow hot air out of the um, driver's side, but not the passenger side. The passenger side will be perfectly fine, but it'll be blowing like hotter than like temperature, warm when you have it Have your car on warm in the winter. Hotter than that. It's hotter than that blowing out of the vents. It's crazy hot. So I don't know. It's coming straight off the engine, obviously, but geez. Moose Tech says so he basically indicated it was his way or the highway, and the three of you chose the highway. Fafo, he can blame his truck because it has rules. Wawa Wash Bear says, right, he got what he wanted. He's mad. Hope he followed through. Yep, exactly. Ice Seeker answers he has no one to blame but himself. Did he even think that someone might get heat stroke? What he did was extremely dangerous. Yes, exactly. I was nowhere near heat stroke. I mean, I had enough air blowing at me that was okay. Wiser now says, you asked for AC, he said no. You asked to be let out of the car, he said no, and he's pissed. You only ruined your event experience, not his. He chose not to go, NTA. There was a deleted comment removed by the moderator. I don't know why they do that. Maidsley says, I would have been much better experience for everyone if he just turned on the AC. I know trucks are gas guzzlers, and maybe that ought to cut into it for a whole 2-hour drive. No, this has been busted by MythBusters. The AC does not take more gas than blowing down all your windows and having all that air resistance in your car. But at that point, you ask your friends if they can toss in a few bucks to contribute if you're short on money, and you plan for the gas to go longer. They said no. Then you decide if it's worth it to me to make the decision to be one or not, or to not go. He brought that all on himself. I have no sympathy for him. Love being a dad is the third top right comment. They say NTA being crammed into a hot vehicle is way more uncomfortable than being outside in a hot venue. That's true. Amazing software answers for 4 bodies in one car in that heat for 2 hours each way. That's a wild expectation. I probably would have offered to chip in for gas to offset the fuel prices, but if he didn't budge, I'd probably bail too. In the winter, I sometimes drive bundled up with the heat on when I'm alone. If someone is with me, I'm definitely making sure they're comfortable. You don't want to be a bad host. Reliant says, I'm calling him that. That's not what that name is. Quotes, I probably would have offered to chip in for gas. They said driving at highway speeds with the window down is much bigger mileage hit than running the AC. And Nutpacks says, I learned this on Mythbusters. Mexman said, I saw that episode about 30 miles an hour changeover point for windows down versus running AC efficiency hit, if I remember correctly. Depends on the exact aero efficiency of the vehicle in both modes, but surprisingly consistent across different types and shapes. Jide said they thought it was somewhere between 40 and 50. We're going to have to look that up sometime. Somebody look that up and let me know. Let me know in the comments, because nobody can let me know in the chat. Next, we have overheard, and it is entitled Love Language. I overheard my roommates while they were all clearing the apartment. Roommate 1, I'm not saying you should stop kissing your girl in front of us, bro. I'm just saying do it less. Roommate 2, dude, anything less than lip sync is literally nothing, so I don't know what you're actually saying. Roommate 1, you had your tongue in her mouth and you had her hand on your boob roll underneath her winging shirt. I didn't consent to see that crap. I'm with roommate number 1. Roommate 2, yeah, well, I didn't consent to hear you bitch about the way I show affection. If you don't love my love language, look away. Roommate 1. Roommate 2, dude, what the wang are you doing? Roommate 1. Roommate 2, keep your flaming pants on, bro. Roommate 1, why? I feel like jerking off in front of me. That's my love language. If you don't like it, look the wang away. Roommate 2, dude, stop. You made your flaming hell. I love it. That's great. Incognito is a top rated comment. And they say, brilliant response. I laughed so loud at this. Same aunt says, roommate 1 weaponized the perfect analogy. Sometimes people don't understand boundaries until you mirror their own logic back at them. Second top rated comment is from Barry Kiss, and she says, roommate 1 absolutely won that argument. Just because something is preferred way of showing affection doesn't mean everybody else has to be a part of it. Brush OK says, used to be in a meditation group invited by my brother. Before it started, we mingled and visited right in front of everyone. He and his current girlfriend were kissing deeply, sloppily, and passionately. We were all grown, 30s through 60s. I don't believe I was the only one grossed out, but we all sat there in silence. Why? Get a room, please. Look on the whole, took on a whole new meaning. Troublesome Foe says, I saw a comedian talk about people hugging you against your will while saying, I'm a hugger. And the comedian was like, well, I'm a finger banger. So now I can't give a hug or give or get a hug without thinking about it. Yeah, I'm a hugger, but if somebody doesn't want to be hugged, I'm not going to force myself on them because I have respect for people. But I will always ask, you have to tell me no. Next, we have Trail My Chest, and it's entitled, Quitting Smoking Was the Worst Decision of My Life, and No One Ever Talks About It. This does have a not safe for work um, disclaimer on it, so be warned. I know it's super low stakes compared to what gets posted here, but I quit smoking almost 2 months ago for my kids. I thought I would save money, feel healthier, feel happier, and be able to take a full breath, etc. So far, I spent a bunch of money on snacks and drinks because I'm constantly getting cravings. I'm depressed all the time. I have started to put on weight. That's very normal for someone who starts smoking. My skin is covered in pimples and contact dermatitis from the patches. I'm severely depressed and randomly breaking out crying. So stop using the patches. Use some gum. They still have those, right? I spent my birthday sitting alone inside a hotel room while my family watched movies together because I feel so wanging empty. Really, dude, you got issues. Go see a counselor. And the worst part is it's all over cigarettes and no one really cares and no one wants to talk about it. Yeah, we don't. This is a you issue, huh? It's not like I'm addicted to crack or meth, so I feel like a piece of crap for even complaining. Anyway, I guess my point is don't start smoking because it is cool and it does feel good. Edit. Thank you to those who have offered words of support and advice. I think I just wanted to post this because I have tried to quit many times over the last 12 years and failed days in. I don't get this because the physical addiction doesn't last this long. Physical addiction, you're out of that within days. This is a habit addiction that you have. I always assumed if I made it past the first week or month, it would be better. Everyone I've ever spoken to about quitting would talk about how good it felt, and stuff is not just my reality. I'm pushing through today. I hope it's someone else struggling knows it's normal for it to suck. You need to go see somebody because this is more than cigarettes. This sounds like real actual depression. Uh, Ali Hopra says, read the read The Easy Way to Quit Smoking by Alan Carr. Ask your doctor if you could get a short-term prescription for a GPL-1 to help with the addiction noise. Panda Attack is the second time where you comment, and they say, I would recommend seeing a therapist if you're struggling, especially because it will help you develop healthy coping mechanisms. Maybe Zyban, it can help with the weight gain, depression, and getting you through a detox. You'll get through it and just give you time and grace until all your brain chemistry readjusts. Gravity Blue says, when I quit, I gave myself a project, deep clean of the entire house so that I would stay busy and I could vent my frustration into cleaning. 5 years later, I'm happier without smoking. But I would say I stopped for myself and worked on the psychology of my addiction a lot. Why you smoke is important. You need to find the space to address this and come to terms with it. Like for me, my biggest reason was because I'm stressed. But like no amount of smoking ever made me feel less stressed. Plus, it's psychologically stressing on your body. So I addressed my stress and how to cope in other ways. My dad did finally quit smoking. He had smoked since he was 12, and he quit when I was about 30. So he was about 52, 53. He finally quit, and he hasn't gone back since. He knew that it was not all that physical for him. He knew he could do it, and he just quit one day. He's smoked cigars for a while to cope. Every once in a while, I'd smoke a cigar. He hasn't smoked any. I don't know that he smoked anything for 30 years now, since my kid was born. The next one we have, what do I do? Is entitled, my manager will try to get me fired because of a text I sent. This is from a 20-year-old woman. I got my first job, a corporate thing. A customer called me that if we don't do something, we'll not get into details, he will sue us. I was told this is an absolute emergency and there's just one person in the chain that didn't do their job, and that was the general manager. I didn't even know he was the general manager. I just saw him on process. I wanted to contact him. My manager lost her mind that no, I cannot, uh, not him personally, to contact his assistant. His assistant is an elderly lady who just became a grandmother and wasn't in the office today. So I was like, okay, does this woman have backup? My boss said she will try to find out. Customer calls 5 more times. So just sent this general manager a message on Teams very politely asking him if he can click on a button so that we can unblock the whole issue. His answer right away, a guy in his 40s who actually acted very approachable. He said even something like, glad you let me know. Finally, it's summer. It would be a pity to go to jail now. Ha ha. So in 5 minutes, it was solved. But my manager said, I have cranes outside. But my manager said she will set up a meeting with the HR because it's not normal what I did. It's not acceptable that someone in my position talks to someone in his position. That's very weird. Like, you're not doing anything about it. I'm going to go to the source. And he was perfectly fine with it. I guess she'll try to get me fired or at least make me feel very bad for myself. It's a normal thing in bigger companies. No, it's not. Because to be honest, I feel like crap. Like, what am I? I understand there's a hierarchy and I wouldn't have messages to chat, but it was an emergency. I felt like an inferior human being and like I have no worth. You don't have any worth, honey. You're working in corporate America. Orty Boomer says HR is going to have a field day with this. VT Cam says show up with logs about the customer's call, complaint, and amount of money that was blocked, and the message from the general manager who approved it. Show the out of office message from his assistant. Firefox says this. Take all the evidence to the meeting. Yes. Document everything when something like this happens. If HR doesn't take you seriously, go over their head to the person you messaged about the problem. He may stand up for you. Yeah, he probably will, because he obviously was like, okay, yeah, we need to do this. Extreme Demon says you used initiative to solve a problem. Any issue, contact the general manager again. C Pony says I would do it now. Tell him you're very sorry for contacting him and that your supervisor scheduled an HR manager to discuss what you did wrong. Yes. King Roar said, 1, stop guessing what other people will do. You don't have enough life experience for those guesses to be helpful. That's true too. 2, stick to the facts. Don't go off topic. Stick to the series of events. Don't avoid direct questions. Don't add distractions. You'll be fine. And Wistful Fully says 3, document. Use Teams and or emails for everything. If you use Teams, save the screenshots. If you have a face-to-face meeting, follow up with a summarizing email. The name of the game in offices and corporates is CYA. Yeah, we had an issue with a boss I had that was not doing her job, which is delegating it to our coworkers who were not supervisory over us at all. They were equals. And it became an issue. And my young coworker was very brash, as Gen Z will be, and not taking it. And our boss's boss came in to talk to her about it, but she had her receipts. She's like, "This is what happened. This is what we were told. This is what happened. This is what we were told. Here are the notes." They even went. She even came back to the office to get her login so that she could log into the boss's computer to prove what went on. And she was completely right. Nobody really got in trouble for it, but she didn't get in trouble for it, which was the major thing. Because I think our boss wanted to fire her. She finally managed to get rid of her when she had car problems and couldn't get to the office. The boss didn't help her at all. Like, I'm positive there was somebody that could have picked her up and brought her into work every day. Because we had lots and lots of people in her area that could have done that and would have been willing to. It was very nice. The employees at GM are actually very nice people. Corporation as a whole, not so much. Next, we have entitled parents, and is entitled parents making me work for free. So 19 female, I'm living with my parents. They opened a bakery in our town a little over a year ago and, of course, expected me to help out. I mean, 90% of the bakery and food that is sold and also fill in on days that other employees took off with little to no pay. At most, I'm paid for 1 day out of the 7 days I work. When the bakery first opened, I was making nothing at all. No, they need to pay you. They need to pay you. Whenever I talk about moving out and not working it for her anymore, my mom immediately tells me they are going to go bankrupt without me there and that she can't pay someone to do what I do. Then you have no business being a business. She guilt tripped my sister before she moved away as well. My mom thought she could count on my sister working during the summer so that she wouldn't have to hire and pay another person. My sister had to tell her no, she's not moving back home, at least 10 times before she moved. And even now, almost 2 months later, my mom is still telling her she should come back, not because she misses her, but because she needs help with the business. I'm also constantly cleaning I almost constantly clean up after my parents and get told getting to be so mean and selfish. Gee, I wonder why. Why are you creating this mean and selfish person, parents? Because I refuse to warm up food for them anymore. Seriously? Just warming up food? They can't do that? Oh my God. I literally mean taking food from the fridge, putting it on the plate, and microwaving it. I used to make full meals and dessert for them every day after school, but stopped after years of barely any gratitude. I don't blame you. They also don't even rinse off their own plates, and let alone wash them or put them in the dishwasher, so I don't do that. So I do that too. I know running a business can be a lot, but expecting your kid to work for over a year with no pay is ridiculous. My mom also expects me to work for another year because then the bakery will get so popular we can sell it and make so much money. Her words. I'm not sure this is the right sub for this kind of thing because I feel like my parents could fit in a lot of different subs, so hopefully it's fine that I wrote here. It is. Again, it says, tell her to pay you minimum wage or you will find a job that doesn't stick to it if she doesn't agree. She's violating labor laws and mention that if there is pushback. OP says, I'm not sure about how to go about that because I have my own vehicle. I don't have my own vehicle and we don't live nearby. Somewhere I could work. Everything is a 25-plus-minute car ride away. All my savings from working before went to college, which I regret now. So I don't have money for a car unless every penny I have goes into it. My plan right now is to wait it out until fall and move the money I'm saving now. I make an okay amount working for my neighbor. I also think she'll know I'm bluffing on the labor laws thing. I still feel bad for her when she treats me like this because of the bankruptcy thing. Thank you for your response. Bluffing? It's not bluffing, it's fraud. You realize that, right? And OP got a downvoted comment says, no, I mean, I'd be bluffing if I say I'm going to report her because I probably wouldn't. I do know she's actually violating laws. Oh my gosh, girl, stand up for yourself. Fish Finger says, no business has a right to exist if they can't stay open without making a slave out of their employees. They don't deserve to be open. Leave, take your baking talents and make something of yourself. LP says, thank you, and I keep convincing myself it was fine because of family, but I'm at my wit's end, so I'm working up the courage to move out. Good. You should. Impressive Man says, I bet when they sell it, you'll get nothing. Exactly. Not until they die, if they even make any money. They'll probably spend it all. If they can't put a percentage on paper, they need to pay you. LP says, I doubt when they sell it, they'll get anything either compared to the amount they put into it. Exactly. Why are you doing this to yourself? They're not going to help you. They're obviously stupid. You don't get into a baking business to sell it. You get into a baking business to make money for your family. If your goal is just to sell something, that's not in a year. No, and it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Good luck with that. That is not an investment anyone would make. Next, we have Best of Editor updates entitled, while on vacation at my boyfriend's place, I found out he had a fling with his neighbor. I don't know if I should meet his neighbor or not. Yeah, you should leave. Originally posted to Ask Mech. I don't know what that is. Original post August 14th, 2025. Sorry for the long text. I'm just at the end of my rope and I'd like to get a male perspective. I've already had female one and I like a male one. I'm 24. My boyfriend is 27. We've been together for 5 years. We lived together for 3 years. Then last December, he moved to London for a job he dreamed of having for a long time. He wanted me to come with him. It was complicated for me. I had to finish my studies. On top of that, the visa process is a nightmare. Yes, that is true. I have somebody living that right now that I know. Finally found a solution. I was supposed to join him permanently next October. Since he left, we see each other less, but he used to come back to France for about a week each month. I've never been to London before. I've been here for a week now, but it's turned into a nightmare. He lives in a large apartment building with a gym, swimming pool, etc. That sounds nice. First morning, I went to the gym and noticed a woman kept staring at me. I ignored her and continued my workout. That evening, my boyfriend and I had booked a restaurant. We took the elevator, but when the doors opened, we ran into this woman, and my boyfriend said, "No, come on, let's take the stairs." It was on the 32nd floor, so I refused. I was wearing heels, and besides, even on the third floor, he didn't he didn't insist and said, "We'll meet downstairs." And then the guy went off to take the stairs. So there I was alone in the elevator with the woman. She asked me what country, what I was from. We chatted. She was pretty cool, and she even threw in a few words of French for a laugh. But at the end, when the doors opened, she blurted, "Your boyfriend, uh, tell your boyfriend to stop stressing. I don't like men who are already in relationships." At first, I didn't understand, and then I thought, I'm pretty good at English, but I'm not fluent. So maybe I misunderstood. Anyway, I met back up with my boyfriend and went to the restaurant. All evening, the girl's comment kept nagging at me. I finally asked him who she was. He just said my neighbor, but since I sensed there was more to it, I pressed. He got angry and told me we were supposed to be having a good vacation and that I was nitpicking, and I got angry too. I decided to go back to the apartment because the atmosphere was tense and I wasn't feeling well. Once we arrived, he tried to make amends with hugs, but I pushed him away. I'm someone who cries easily and I'm overwhelmed by my emotions, so I burst into tears in my corner. And that's when he finally admitted something had happened with this woman. He told me that maybe something happened with her, but nothing serious. Then he explained that he met her at a party in the building and that they ended up at his place and there had been floor play but no sex and that the next he'd left the next day, that she tried something, but he told her he was in a relationship and since then, well, he's been avoiding her. Like taking the stairs. God. God, this is a child. Why are you with this child? He told me maybe something had happened. Oh, sorry. He added he's sorry and that he loves me, but it didn't matter to me. It was still cheating. I packed my bags, but he tells me he loves me, that he's sorry. And he was upset by the change he made, that he messed up, and that he pulls out a ring and tells me he was going to propose on Saturday. I honestly felt like he was just trying to buy me with the ring. What's disturbing me the most isn't so much the fact that there was any foreplay, it's the lying. I hate it. He knows perfectly well. Right now, I'm completely lost. I don't know if I should stay or leave. Listen to him sulk, if he's being sincere or not, or if he's just trying to keep me from leaving. I don't know. I even ran into the girl again and I asked to get coffee tomorrow, just to get her side of the story. She told me as long as I don't come after her like some crazy girlfriend, she's okay with it. I don't know if it's a good idea or if I'm just hurting myself. No, I think a different perspective would help. But I just wonder why you're with this man child. Top comments from Big Sadist Dumb Master. Famous foreplay that will turn into a regular hookup when you delve deeper into the subject with her. Arthurus Rex says this: 100%. There wasn't just foreplay. It's never just foreplay. Obi-Wan Gregory says that foreplay but no sexual relationship thing doesn't make any sense. Foreplay is already sexual. Exactly. It means we did everything but penetration because it is well known that as long as the dick isn't in the pussy, it's all good, not cheating. It is cheating. It was cheating the minute you took her back to your apartment. That was cheating. Many updates same day. Thanks for all your replies. I'm still going to see the girl to put a line under it and get her side of the story, and then I'll go back to France. Honestly, I'm disgusted not for him, but because I won't even be able to enjoy the gym and the pool in his building any longer. It's really the real drama for the story. It's a joke just in case, but yeah. I'd already made up my choice to leave him. It's just hard because I always I've always been invested in this relationship and in love, but hey. Update August 15th, 2025, the next day. Hey, just a quick update on the situation. This morning I went to get coffee, and then I go see the neighbor in question. She told me that yes, there was indeed a party in the building. She went to talk to him because he was the new guy. It's always nice to know people. When the party ended, she suggested they continue the conversation at her place. According to her, he let he let her kiss him. She gave him oral sex, so they did have sex. Then she wanted to move on to the "I pleased you, now it's my turn" stage. He said, "No, I'm seeing someone." Oh my gosh. Why are you with this person? Well, I'm glad you're not with this person anymore. And that was the end for her. She kicked him out. Good for her. After this conversation, I went back to his place while he was at work. I collected my luggage and now I'm at the train station waiting for the Eurostar. No flights available anytime soon, so I might as well get home as quickly as possible. Right now, I just need time alone with my family and friends to relax and clear my head. A positive point of the trip, I tried the matcha at Blake Street and I highly recommend it. Final comment from Casimir. The nerve of him to say he's taken after getting a blowjob and then refusing to return the favor. I think we got a winner for the biggest piece of crap of the year. Exactly. Sugar can kiss my butt says, ew, the idea that he got off and then was like, oh no, I can't reciprocate. I'm in a relationship is double gross. 100%. That's where we're going to leave it at. This is Made Me Smile and is entitled His Brother Honored a Bet with His Sister Made 14 years ago.
Struck a deal. Grace, do you want to tell us about what's going on?
Our deal is if I get married first, then Grant has to do a solo dance at my wedding. And if he
For how long?
For over a minute and a half.
Okay.
No,
and what happens?
Not over a minute. A minute and a half. A minute and a half, and I'll be tiny.
Okay.
And then if he gets married first, then I'll do a dance at his wedding.
A solo dance.
Same
dance. Amount of time?
And it has to be an upbeat song, and the other person gets to pick the music.
Okay.
No, yeah, we struck on that.
We're going to raise our glasses tonight because Grant's going to give us a minute and a half dance to the music.
Got married first. Poor Grant. That's funny. That's really funny. Go, Grant. You did a good job, dude. You're a good dude. You followed through. Awesome. Good job, little brother. All right, that's all I have for the day. I will see you on Tuesday. Take care of yourself over the weekend. My husband thinks we have to do something every weekend now. It's really annoying me. Do you do something every weekend? I don't know what to do. I'm tired and I don't know what to do. I'm tired and it's hot. And I don't want to do stuff. All right. Have a good day, guys. Love you all. Take care. Bye.